government willing, allowing me to stay here in the UK, that this is the moment when I realized that I'm probably never going to go back to the United States. This is a video that I honestly didn't think I'd ever make. And it's something that I never thought in a million years I'd be saying out loud, especially to other people. It's so personal and it's a little heavy. I'm not gonna lie. I honestly do not see myself ever moving back to the United States as long as I am not forced to. This isn't about any kind of bitterness or any kind of grudge that I hold against anything or anybody there. It's not about blaming or escaping or even the political landscape. It's just about what happens when you grow in a new place and realize that the version of yourself you become just doesn't fit anymore where you used to be. Life in the UK really has changed me. I've slowed down, I've softened, I've started to value rest and depth and thoughtfulness rather than performance and productivity. I've found space to breathe here. I found space to be myself here. I found space to find my voice. And in all of that space, I've become someone that I really like, someone I feel good about, someone I admire, someone I am excited to see them grow and who else they can become down the road. And from that perspective, it's really hard to imagine going back to a system and a culture and a rhythm that once made me feel like I was constantly behind, that I was constantly doing the right things and never getting anywhere, and always feeling like I was missing out or not good enough. So things that I don't really miss about the United States: hustle, obsession, definitely. Burnout being a badge of honor, feeling that you have to earn your worth every single minute of every single day. A healthcare system that makes you think twice before going to the doctor. A complete lack of respect for real life problems and real life challenges. Politics that absolutely drain your spirit, and the constant pressure to be better, to be more, to keep up. I didn't even realize how loud all that noise was and how much of it had penetrated my psyche until I stepped outside of the bubble. Once you get a taste of peace, once you get a taste of what it's like to have a simplified, honest perspective, it's really hard to forget that feeling. And it's a feeling I don't want to give up. So I knew that moving abroad was going to change me. Even though the primary motivation was for the child, I knew it was going to affect me. It can't possibly not. If it's not affecting you, if such a big change is not having some kind of lasting influence on you, then you're not open-minded enough in this experience. But I didn't realize that the changes would be so dramatic and would be so long lasting. I've only been here for 2.5 years, and yet I've already come to the conclusion that I don't think I could live in the United States anymore. That is a scary, unsettling, uncomfortable realization. So for all those things that I don't miss about the US, I also found amazing things here in the UK. Stillness, a slower pace, people who actually take lunch breaks, people who don't hesitate going to the doctor, not having to have reserve funds for healthcare, conversations that make sense, and actual respect for quality of life, for human beings, and a love of community over a quantity of successes or material possessions. I found a culture that aligns more with who I actually am and not just who I was raised to be or who society thinks I would be the most productive at being. Being an American in the UK has really taught me that there's other ways to live, which I always kind of knew, even when I lived in the United States, but I never thought it was a viable option. I never thought it was actually something that the majority of people can achieve, that you're able to prioritize things like mental health without feeling guilty or taking a break without being called lazy, that you can have enough and that you don't need more or the latest or the greatest. That you can build a life that isn't measured in output and possessions and financial gain, but a life that's measured in presence and the quality of moments and an experience with other people, an interaction with the world, with nature that can stay with you. Once you have that shift, once you're able to participate in that, you don't want to go back to surviving. I don't want to go back to surviving. I want to keep living. I want to have a life that makes me want to wake up every day, not make me feel like I have to wake up every day. Let me be 100% clear. I'm not running away from America. It's still my home. I'm always going to be American and I'm always going to have a tie to it. And I'm always going to root for it to become a better place. And I don't want to give up my experience of living there for 40 plus years for anything because it's led me to where I am now. But I am trying to root my life in a way that feels more sustainable, more honest, more true to my personal moral compass and my values, and more aligned with what I want and what the people that matter the most to me want in their life. I still carry lots of America with me. I'm always going to. But I just don't want to live in a place where I have to fight so hard just to feel okay, just to feel like my head's above water. Moving abroad gave me this perspective that made it impossible to go back to who I used to be. And I'm really glad because I wasn't a great person. I wasn't a terrible person, but I definitely didn't make great decisions. And I definitely didn't have priorities in place. And there is a huge chunk of my life where I got so caught up in the societal pressures and the peer pressures and what I was supposed to do that I was so lost and so unhappy that I made awful decisions to try to fill that void and try to find something. When really, in order for me to bloom, I just had to change my environment. I don't know if moving to a new country is a viable option for many people, especially Americans nowadays. And I mean, I don't know that it's something that would work for everybody because I do think you have to have a certain frame of mind and mindset for that specific journey. But there is a way that you can change your mindset in wherever you are in order to find that fulfillment, whether it's a big move or just a big changing decision, life changing decision. If you're ever wondering, is it worth it? Is it actually better for you? I'm going to tell you, yes, it is. I'm not going to say it's going to be a success, but even in failure, you can find growth and you can find potential. And it might not be an instant thing, which is very difficult for Americans, especially to grasp in today's world. And it's not going to be without struggle. Clearly, if anyone has seen any of my videos, but it is going to happen. It's going to be slow, it's going to be beautiful, and eventually it's going to be undeniable. And you're going to see more clearly and discover who you really are without anybody telling you who you should be. And it's an incredible feeling. I feel more free as an immigrant in a foreign country than I ever felt in the land of the free. I wish that wasn't so, but it is. And I really just hope that all of you out there can find strength in yourself to take that leap of faith, the leap across the pond or the border, or maybe just, on the other side of the bedroom, doing something completely different than you normally would. Government willing, allowing me to stay here in the UK, that this is the moment when I realized that I'm probably never going to go back to the United States.